The following is an independently produced community access program. The viewpoints expressed are those of the community access producer and do not reflect those of Shaw Cable Systems. The program is presented in response to CRTC policy guidelines regulating community programming.
Hello everybody and welcome to Indian Cooking with Vinu. I'm Vinu and today I'm going to show you how to make the very popular chapati and delicious Rajmah curry. Chapati is a very tasty bread and rather simple to make. It is also called roti in some parts of India. Chapati is typically served with curries or dals. Now let's go on to the ingredients required to make chapati. Whole wheat bread flour or atta, 1.5 cups, salt, half a teaspoon, and water enough to make a dough. Now in a large bowl, I'm going to take 1.5 cups of atta or whole wheat bread flour. So there's 1.5 cups of flour here. Can add the salt to it, half a teaspoon of salt, and mix it up and make a hole in the middle. And we can add water to it to make a soft dough. Add water little by little. I usually use Rogers whole wheat bread flour because I find that works best for me. But you can also use atta that's available in Indian store or the chapati flour and see which works better for you. It has to be whole wheat bread flour because it has to be finely milled and you cannot have chunks of wheat in it, and then the chapati will not turn soft. The secret to soft chapatis lies in its kneading. We are adding water little by little so that we do not add too much water. And we can scrape off the flour from the sides by using the dough. So now we have made a soft dough, as you can see here. It's a soft dough. Now we have to knead it really well for around 5 to 10 minutes because that's the real secret to soft chapatis. So it's useful to use your knuckles to knead the dough because by that method you get more force into the dough and knead it really well. And keep turning your bowl so that you can knead each and every part of the dough. And then fold it inwards, all of the dough, and continue the process again. The more you knead, the softer your chapatis are going to be. If you wish to knead for a longer time, you can do so, and you can get really soft chapatis. Now I am going to cover this with a wet towel and let it rest for around 15 minutes. We're covering it with a wet towel so that it does not dry out. So if we leave it open, you'll find that the chapati dough has dried out. So you don't want that to happen, so we're going to cover it with a wet towel. Now let's go on to the Rajmah curry. Rajmah means red kidney bean in Hindi. It's a typical North Indian recipe, and it's usually served with rice, and it's famously known as Rajmah chawal, where chawal means rice. Red kidney bean is a wholesome source of proteins, fibers and vitamins, and therefore it's a healthy and tasty meal that you can make. Now let's see what ingredients we require to make Rajmah curry. Red kidney beans, 1 398 ml can, onions 1 finely chopped, tomatoes 2 finely chopped, ginger paste 1 teaspoon, garlic paste 1 teaspoon, bay leaf 1, star anise 1, cinnamon stick 1 long inch piece, red chili powder or cayenne pepper powder half teaspoon, cumin powder 1.5 teaspoon, garam masala powder 1 teaspoon, salt to taste, sugar 1 teaspoon, fresh mint leaves 1 tablespoon finely chopped, cilantro 2 to 3 tablespoons finely chopped. Now let's start cooking. Go ahead, let's heat a pan on medium high and add some oil to it. And when the oil is hot, we can add one bay leaf, one star anise. Star anise has a licorice flavor to it, and some cinnamon stick, 1 long inch piece broken into pieces. We'll just fry them for a few seconds. And then we're going to add ginger paste and garlic paste. I have a bottle each of ginger and garlic paste because I use it a lot. Now, when we add the ginger and the garlic paste, it's going to splutter very badly. So make sure you have a splutter guard ready or put the lid on it right away. By this process, the ginger and garlic is like finely infused into the oil. That's why I'm adding it at this stage. You can also add it after sauteing the onions, but I feel that this gives a little more flavor. Now we can open it and then add the onions into it. We can add chopped onions into it. I have 1 medium yellow onion finely chopped here. I'm going to add into this mixture. When you add the onions, the ginger and garlic will stop spluttering. I'm going to saute it till the onions are golden brown in color. We're just going to let this cook for 2 to 3 minutes till it becomes golden brown in color. Now the onions are golden brown in color. We can go on and add the tomatoes to it. I have 2 chopped Roma tomatoes over here. I'm going to add it along with the onions. It's important that the tomatoes are cooked really well and it really gets blended into the mixture. The Rajma curry is a very fine curry, so we don't want any chunks of onions or tomatoes. That's why we want it really well blended into the mixture. While the tomatoes are cooking, we can go for a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
You're watching an independently produced community access program. The viewpoints expressed are those of the community access producer and do not reflect those of Shaw Cable Systems. The program is presented in response to CRTC policy guidelines regulating community programming.
Welcome back to Indian Cooking with Vinu. Now we can see that the tomatoes have cooked really well and just blended. And if you notice, you can see oil separating out from the sides. That's indication to how well the tomatoes should be blended into the mixture. You can see the oil coming out. Now we can add the dry spices to it. Going to add half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper powder, 1.5 teaspoon of cumin powder, and 1 teaspoon of garam masala powder. Mix it really well and saute it till the raw flavor from the spices have gone. As I mentioned before, Rajma curry is usually served with rice, but you can also serve it with chapatis or bread, and that's what we are going to do today. Now we can add sugar to it. We're going to add around 1 teaspoon of sugar to it. And we add sugar to balance out the acidity in the tomato. And next we're going to add salt to it and also fresh mint leaves, which are finely chopped, around 1 tablespoon. And the salt. The fresh mint leaves really brings a nice freshness to the dish. Look at that